Hello everyone, thank you for being here. Welcome to our channel Runway with Code. So it's our first channel, so kindly please share this video and like this. So let's get started with the first topic, that is OOPS. So OOPS is basically a programming paradigm that we use while we doing programming in a particular language. So here OOPS stand for Object Oriented Programming Language. So the name suggested that means here object is a kind of fundamental part that is used while we doing programming in these paradigms, right? So it's these programming languages are very much useful by these OOP because we have very variety of languages that use these paradigms. Like we have a Java that uses these, we have a C++ that use this, and we have a C# that use this. So we have many kind of programming paradigm, like we have a POP, that is procedure-oriented programming language. We have a structure-based programming language. We have object-based programming language, and etc. We have many kind of paradigm available in the market. But every programming paradigm have its own advantages and disadvantages, so that we use this, right? So this OOP is basically a overcome of these procedure-oriented programming language. The feature that this POP is not supported, so that's why we use this OOP over that. So here object is the basic fundamental part. So remember this and please clear this about this object part. Okay. So let's go and start it. So like I saw that object is basically a fundamental part. So please clear about this. So object is like these. Okay. Block diagram of object is here. Like it contains data and function. Contain data and function together. So data is like a variable. Okay, data is like a variable or a variable or a type of container, like we define integer I, like in उसमें in C we define int I. Here integer is like a data type. Here integer I. So here integer I, here int is like a data type and I is like a variable. So object are the variable of type class. This is a definition of this object. So object are the variables of type class. Here class is like a data type and variable, and object is like a variable. So it contains data and function. So data in the form of fields, attributes or variable, and functions like a function or procedure or method that we called. Okay. So let's go with the feature of these OOPs. So features of object-oriented programming language. So here are very basic and major part of these OOPs, that is classes, objects, data abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism. These are the very much helpful and the very major features of these OOPs. That's why we use these OOPs in our programming languages. So let's go start with each and every topic in detail. So here classes are, a class is a group of objects that share the common properties and behavior. So here we have group of objects that have a share of common properties and behavior. Like we define a variable and variables in the class. So when we create the object for that class, they share each and every object share the same property like a single one object. Okay. So class represents a real world entity which acts as a blueprint for all the objects. Like I show you the block diagram of object. So here data are there, here functions are there. So class represents the blueprint for these objects. Okay. Classes are the blueprint of these objects. So it is the extended form of the structure that we use in the POP. So in the procedure-oriented programming language, that is like a C. In C we have a topic that is structure. So where we use the structures as our classes, but it is not a good idea. So we use classes here in the OOPs. It is the extended form of the structures like, and it contains many other features too. Okay, so remember this. So here is a very much difference about the classes and the structures. So here like started with objects. So object contains both the variable and methods together. Okay, remember this. Here I show you the data part and the function part together. So we can create any number of object using the class, and all those objects will get the same properties. So remember these, there are no restriction on the number of creation of the object of a particular class. We can create any number of objects of a particular class. So let's start with the next subtopic, that is data abstraction and encapsulation. So abstractions means hiding the some details like that is not relevant to the user. So abstraction is the process where you use only the relevant data and hide the unnecessary detail of an object from the user. Unnecessary detail means the implementation detail, so that user cannot go into the implementation part. Okay, like in a GUI, when we made a GUI for the user, so user do not know about the implementation of the GUI. So like this, we use data abstraction here. Okay, so here encapsulation. Encapsulation is the process of binding the object state and behaviors. So like together in a single unit, that is called class. Example of the encapsulation is class. Okay, in OOPS we use classes to encapsulate both the object and its behavior. Behavior means methods and functions. Okay. So, since it wraps both the field and method in a class, it will be secured from the outside access. But like in C, and when we use the here variable, when we define a variable, it can be accessed from anywhere. So here there are no any kind of access modifiers and access specifier that will restrict the use of that data. So in these OOP, we can restrict the access of our data from the outside. Okay, so by the use of encapsulation, we can restrict the access of here, like I show you that we can restrict the access of members of a class using the access modifiers such as private, protected, and public. We will discuss about this in the later videos. So remember this till now. So encapsulation helps us to achieve reusability of the code without going over to security. So by using this encapsulation, we can achieve the reusability of the code. Like we use inheritance so that our code can be reused. So like that. Okay. So let's go to the next topic, that is inheritance and polymorphism. So inheritance is like we have eyes, we have a nose like our parents. So we inherit some kind of features from our parents. Similarly, in this OOP, inheritance is the process of defining a new class based on the existing class by extending its common properties and data members. Okay. So inheritance is the process of defining a new class. We can create a new class that have all the features of its parent class. Okay, by using some kind of access specifiers. Okay, it allows us to reuse of the code. We can reuse the code. We do not need to implement the same code again. So we can reuse that code. Okay, so here the parent class is called the base class, our superclass, and the child class is called the derived class or subclass. So remember these keywords. So next topic is polymorphism. It is also some kind of access specifier like we use. So it is a concept where an object behaves differently in different situations. So here objects, we create objects. So all the objects have the same common property like a single object. But by the use of polymorphism, we can use these objects differently in different situations. We take an example of these in the next videos, so don't worry about that. Since the object takes multiple forms, it is called polymorphism. Okay, this is the common definition that is very much easy. Since the object takes the multiple form, it is called the polymorphism. We can achieve it using the method overloading and overriding. These are the very difficult topics and not much difficult, but remember this. We do the programming on this. So till please thank you, and please share this video and subscribe, and please hit the like button. So thank you for the day.